Hello, my people, and welcome back to my channel. On today's agenda, we will be attacking my very own first draft. So as promised, today is the first video in my November line of Finish It vlogs. So the whole premise is that I will be spending this month, instead of doing NaNoWriMo, finishing my first draft. So we are going to be going through this checklist here and going through every single thing that I need to have done until November 30th, where I should hopefully have a completed first draft for the first time in my life. Now, in the spirit of transparency, this is my first vlog ever. I am 2 weeks into my channel, so bear with me, guys. And to give a little bit more background on it before we get into the meat and potatoes of this vlog. So what I am currently doing is writing my book according to that story structure in the spirit of becoming a better plantser instead of a pantser. So as you guys saw again from this checklist, I have all of the points that I have completed have a little X next to them. And those are all the points that I found are in the Save the Cat structure. I didn't just pull that out of anywhere. So if you guys need any sort of help with plotting your story and outlining your story, I highly suggest using a story structure first. If you have the premise of your story, or you have the general concept of your story, it becomes a lot easier to just plug and play with the outline of a story structure that's already there versus having to come up with something on your own. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are like, duh, but for those of you who may be like me, who don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to this writing life, I hope that you find this helpful. So I do think that my book is turning into one of those multiple short chapter kind of books instead of a smaller amount of longer chapter books. That's just how it's been coming out as I've been writing it, which I don't mind actually, especially now as a reader. I think that I prefer to read stories that have their chapters set up that way. So I think that's why I'm writing my own that way. But I say that because for my checklist, you'll see the parts of the story structure that I have checked off. That is not one chapter per point. It is right now, I think, as I'm looking at it, I think at most I have 5 chapters within a single point, maybe 6. So right now I have 30 chapters and I am only on the midpoint. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. You guys tell me. Is that bad? I don't know. I personally just feel like I'm able to break up my story a lot better and maybe pace myself a lot better when I'm utilizing shorter chapters. So my book could very well come out with 70 chapters. And to me, I don't think that's crazy if the word count isn't crazy. It's not like I'm going to publish a 500,000 word novel, but I don't know. I've heard some things on both ends on how people feel about that. But at least for right now in the first draft, that's how it's looking. Another challenge I am anticipating on coming across during this little monthly challenge is I am still figuring out the magic in my story. So I talked about this in my How a Novel Was Born video, I believe, but my story is fantasy fiction and it has themes of reincarnation and identity. So right now I'm really just trying to figure out matching everybody's personalities to their powers, if that makes sense. And I'm also figuring out the limitations of the powers, because I can't just, you got to have a kryptonite for every Superman. Otherwise, what's going to stop him from saving the world every single time with no challenge? So I'm trying to figure out the limitations for my powers as well as matching them to that person, because I want it to be a highly personalized experience for my characters. I'm thinking more so like the show Charmed, for the original Charmed. If you guys have seen that, I'm a huge fan. But where their powers are connected to their emotions and connected to their sisterhood and things like that. I want my characters' magic to be integral to who they are and to their story. So I'm still trying to figure out the ins and outs of that. I have a general idea of what they do and what they represent and all those things, but I'm trying to figure out the mechanics as I go. So that does kind of slow down the first draft process, because I may come to a point where I'm like, magic happens. They are approaching a dumpster and a creature comes out. It may be something like that where I get very general in the description for me to come back later for my first and second edit to figure out what exactly goes on there, but that does tend to slow me down just a smidge, because since it will be so interconnected, it kind of leaves a lot of gaps right now in the first draft phase. But that is partly why this little November challenge will be highly important, because I will not be able to push it back any further. I do have a tendency to get lost in my own research or scrolling or anything like that. I'm very easily distracted when it comes to writing, as I'm sure a lot of us can relate to. When I'm supposed to be writing, I'm doing a million other things. And am I still being productive? Technically, yes. Am I still doing things that are relevant to my story or to my potential author career? Yes, but it's not what I need to be doing right now, which is writing. Now, in order to do this writing challenge correctly and actually achieve my goal, I need to finish about, that is my behemoth of a dog back there, but I need to finish about 3 sections per week, according to what I have left to finish. So today I will be working on finishing the midpoint, starting and finishing Bad Guys Close In, and starting and finishing All Is Lost. I also didn't give myself much time for this particular vlog, since I just decided to do this challenge on Halloween, and it is now November 1st. So this one is a bit of a push. I didn't give myself much room, but it's going to be okay. All right, enough of me chit-chatting, because I think you guys can tell, but I am stalling right now, as usual. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the challenge so I can get some work done today.
If you ride with me, don't gotta work for the both of us. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the love. When you ride with me, don't gotta worry when tomorrow comes. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry now, 'cause we stay in control in the name of love. For the both of us, I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the name of love. When you ride with me, don't gotta worry when tomorrow comes. I'll put you in the driver's seat.
This was simultaneously the best and the worst day for my first vlog. So let's just do a quick rundown of the day, but let's start off with the good. So the good news is I did finish something today. It has been about 2 or 3 hours since I started this vlog, and I finished my midpoint. So 1 out of the 3 points that I needed to accomplish, it was done. It was done. That was pretty much the only good that has occurred. But I did start off overly ambitious. I broke one of my own no-nos, which was setting goals that are too high. That's what I did today, and I was trying to do too much for one day, so it's fine. But I did something, and small win. So they decided to do random fire alarm tests today for some reason, with no notification for the tenants whatsoever, at least not for me. And so in the middle of me trying to get all of this done, my alarm started to go off, and as you guys saw, I have a behemoth of a dog here, and she was losing her mind. So I cut a lot into my day. And I did have the passing thought to edit this nicely and say that I did something more than what I did, just for the sake of a nice, well-rounded video. But I was like, the whole point of this channel is transparency and the good and the bad and the ins and outs of me going from a blank page to a published novel. And that includes days where I do not hit my goal that I told you guys that I was going to hit. But again, it is totally fine. This is only day 1 of my alternative NaNoWriMo challenge, so I'm going to get through this. At the very least, I completed one of the sections that I needed to get done, so that is a win. I was also testing out a different writing software to see if I liked it, so that was probably another downfall. I was doing too much at once, as usual. So testing something out just to see how it was, and that just distracted me from the whole point of today, which I will refrain from doing in the future. Anywho, I am starving because I forgot to feed myself in the middle of me trying to accomplish this challenge for today. So I'm going to go make myself something to eat. And thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel yet again. Today, it was an interesting one, but I am glad that I kept it all in here, and we're going to keep it real. So thank you guys for tuning in, and please subscribe to this channel if you want to continue along this journey with me and watch me hit some goals, because we're going to hit them next time. See you guys later.